Okay, so this will be my video for step 4 of project Be Your Null. Have my PowerPoint right here, and this is what I'm gonna do. So, as you know, my name is Daniel Moran, and we're gonna talk about Dalí and innovation. So, for the first question, Dalí, creativity and innovation. So, I want to talk about surrealism, which is defined as a 20th century avant-garde movement in art and literature, which sought to release the creative potential of the unconscious mind, for example, by the irrational juxtaposition of images, or art, which is what Dali did. So I highlighted the words release the creative potential of the unconscious mind because this is a perfect example of how Dali used creativity. And what I liked about him is that he was relentless in his pursuit of new approaches to art and the world. And one of the methods that he applied to empower his creativity was the brief nap tactic, which is resting for a second in order to channel the fluid space between wakefulness and sleep. And the other thing I liked that I thought was a cool connection between Dali creativity and innovation was the risk taking. So one example of this was that in 1934, during his first exhibition, he arrived wearing a glass case containing a brassiere around his chest, and this gained tons of attention. So this is something that we've seen a lot of times, sometimes doing something extravagant or, for example, fashion nowadays, the last 15 years, 20 years, a lot of times it has been about extravaganza and nothing more than that, trying to gain the attention of as many people as possible. So understanding the concepts. What I want to talk about that helped me understand the concept and what Dali did and how he applied creativity and innovation. I'm going to use a painting called A Portrait of My Sister, and we have the picture right here to the right. And as explained in the app, in the museum app, this time period represents a shift in how he was living the world and its relationship with past foundations of his life. So what I like about this is that he connects the present and the past in his life, but also, as I mentioned in the first slide, it's a release of the creative potential of the unconscious mind because he starts looking at it from a different point of view at his own sister. So he connects people, ideas, and situations from real life and applies his surrealism concept. We can see the picture, it's like a reflection, but like with of course some changes of like the two versions or the two images that came to his mind. So, and as I said before, this is a perfect example of what it means to release the creative potential. So creativity, entrepreneurship, and innovation. So I just want to say that we were asked this question in the past assignments of the project Be Your Journal. And even though we already answered it, there were some things that were brought to my attention during during Dali's investigation. So Dali's life made me realize about one vital step, which is risk taking. It is almost impossible to truly innovate if you're not ready to take risks. And we may see it as something normal now because it's been almost 100 years and we have gotten used to the concept. But during that time, he not only innovated, but he also took a massive risk when he decided to stop trying to improve past techniques, which was a way of playing it safe. So, of course, he was influenced by a lot of artists, but it was the moment where he understood that by doing his own thing, he would create a bigger impact. And this can be described as an entrepreneur because he developed a new product, service, whatever you want to call it. It's a new concept, a new way of art. And, and yeah, I think that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to take risks because it's all about bringing something new to the table, taking the risk that people are going to like what you do. And talking about the influence in the area in Tampa and some examples, I liked the Tony Janus An Enduring Legacy video because it made me think a lot about finding new purposes for other people's innovation and creations. And yeah, you can be innovative by creating a product, but then maybe someone else finds a better use for that product, and he's also innovating and he's creating an impact. So it is not only about being creative enough to develop the product, it's how you apply the innovation concept on a daily basis. And another example outside of from an outside source was Coca-Cola, which was initially used to fight morphine addictions, headaches, and anxiety. Uh, Anxiety, yes. So this is just one example, and we now know that Coca-Cola is probably one of the most successful products in the history, and it ended up being something so much bigger. You know, now we have the Coca-Cola company, which owns so many sodas and different products. And then from my professional selling class with Dr. Robert Hammond, uh, we every week we are asked to investigate a new company, and they come and talk to us, and they give us a lot of information, and they tell us how is it they that they build a startup, how they start from zero, how they grow. And there are many examples in Tampa. Just from the top of my head, Williams Automotive and KnowBe4, and these are very successful businesses, both in Tampa, and many of them are family owned, and they thrive on this concept of being ethical, socially and environmentally responsible. So yeah, I was aware that Tampa is an area with a lot of successful businesses. And that will be the end of my slideshow. Thank you very much.